viewers and listeners. I am Lamin. I am Public Relations Manager of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. I am hereby going to discuss one key element that pertains to our safety at the airport, and that happens to be our dump site around Lamin and the catchment areas. We've observed with deep concern that what is going on around Lamin is a serious concern for us at civil aviation. When we talk about safety in the aviation industry, we're talking about when a flight is going to land into Banjul, what happens around the community within the airport? What do they do? If what they do around that airport has corresponding effect on what we have as safety at the airport. For instance, if our communities around the airport, Lamin, Kubariko, Yundum, Old Yundum, and particularly those who border our fence, because for us we have what we call the 13-kilometer radius. These are the people whose activity, particularly on the trust that they generate, would have direct implication on what we do and affect our flight movement and operation at Banjul International Airport. And that's why I am joining the community of Lamin today, the BDC per se, in a crusade. And the crusade is wipe out all trust and dump sites around Lamin. And Lamin happens to be core within our area around the airport. We pay our rates to our community area council, and we expect them to do. But we don't wait for them because we know it has implications on operation. What we do is we have our monthly or quarterly cleansing around the airport. We take bulldozers, hire them, expensive, but we need to do that to ensure that the operations are ongoing. But when we do, it's unfortunate that give it a week or two, they come back to normal because the communities around the airport have gotten used to using those areas as dump sites. So what we are doing is, it's not going to be effective if we just clear them. It's the community that is to understand that whatever you do around the airport is going to affect the airport. And the airport is a national asset. Economic viability, it has a responsibility to make sure that we get the return on investment, because when the white people come here on tourism, that's where we get our foreign reserves for this country. And then if you don't operate that airport well and allow the amount of trust to develop into attracting birds, you're going to limit the number of flights that we have. That is going to affect our tourism, affect economic viability of this country. So it's a collective responsibility. It's a national call that we are going to clear and we'll keep clearing. But clearing alone won't solve the problem. The community mindset must change. So we're going to create sheds around all those places so that whatever is dumped there is not going to be accessed by birds. After some time, birds don't have food, they will migrate. But then the collective call is for all of us to put all our hands together. Those who live around Lamin and the communities around the Lamin must understand that if we use those areas around the airport as dump sites, we are creating a problem for the aviation industry because we're going to generate more birds around the airport and the number of bird strikes. Bird strikes are elements of impact between a bird and the aircraft. And when a bird touches an aircraft, or an aircraft touches a bird, that is catastrophic. But that's going to ingest the bird into the engine. And the most serious thing is there is a probability that the engine is going to be lost and there could be an aircraft crash. I hope we don't get that. The airport the premises is porous, but the ultimate fact is the buffer has been compromised. You see, the buffer was supposed to be 500 meters. If we had stayed around that buffer, we wouldn't have anything like that. People realize this is a buffer for the airport, they should not include. So once we realize that, we have to go back to the mindset. You see, no temporal measure is going to change this. It's the mindset of the people around you. Even if you fence the area and people choose to cut, they will still cut. Because if you go around the perimeter fence, we have the chain link fence. And people compromise the fence by actually going there to cut our chain link fence. So it's not just fencing. Fencing will do a temporal measure. But the ultimate final measure is for the community around the airport to understand there is an implication when you do this around the airport. That's what's important. We call on the general public to help one another. We're not only helping GCAA. When we help GCAA, we're helping the Gambia. It is your sons and daughters and nephews and everybody working in that airport. And it is this airport that's bringing us revenue, foreign exchange, through tourism. It has a big ripple effect. The tourist industry is going to be affected, the airport is going to be affected, our economy is going to be affected. So collectively, we need to come together, particularly the 7 villages, Yundum, Lamin, Kubarako, Banjul, all those communities at the airport need to understand. Let's help this airport work, because if it works for the collective good of this country. That is a clarion call. We will do our quota, clear and clear and clear, fence and fence around the dump sites, but the people must refuse to use the airport as a dump site.